Alright, guys, I just got done live streaming this about a half an hour ago. So I decided I would just cut the battle portion out and post it so you didn't have to watch the long video just to see this part. Um, it was filmed by WYSIWYG TV. I'll put his link in the description. Great guy. He gave me permission to use his feed, so because I was unable to make it there this year. Usually we go every year, over the 4th of July weekend. But unfortunately, with the Biden inflation and everything, it just didn't work out this year. Now I want you, as you watch this, okay? I don't know how many of you have seen one of these in person. I'm sure you've watched movies maybe or seen something on TV. It's not the same as it is in person. You feel like shock waves in person. But I want you to watch this. Okay. This was the same country, okay, America, that was divided into the North and the South because the North had different views than the South, and the South was fighting for their rights. A lot of people say it was fought over slavery. That may have been a small portion of it, but the North had slaves also. So you can't base it just on, the North was fighting because the South had slaves. The North had them too. Okay? The South was fighting for their, their state rights. Because back then they went by population about how many, how you're represented in government by your state's population. And being the South had a higher, African population, back then they didn't count as a whole person. I think they were only counted as a half person, if they were even counted at all. So the South was, not being represented in the government like the North was. So they decided, we've had enough. We're going to succeed and try to start our own, America, the Confederate States of America. Now, as you watch this, okay, keep in mind, this was a lot of these people, well, not these people, but a lot of people then were brother on one side, a brother on another side, maybe a father on one side, maybe a son on the other side, okay? It was family member against family member. Or even if you're fighting beside your family member, you hear talk, all the time nowadays. Oh, we need another civil war. You don't realize, what it's like. Even I don't realize what it'd be like to basically stand, be there, and basically you're trying to kill maybe a friend, a member of your family that's on the other side. These guys would line up, okay? Straight line. One side facing the other side. And they would just fire volley after volley into each other. Now, I don't think there is any person alive today that would have the balls to do what these guys expected to stand in a line in the open. You got your enemy across from you, and your enemy is firing, 30, 40 shots from, 30, 40 guys into at once, into your group, and you are expected to stand there knowing that every time the enemy fires, that bullet may have your name on it, and you may go down, but yet they still stood there. And people fell left and right of them, and they just closed up the ranks and just still stood there and kept on fighting. Fortunately, we would never see that in America nowadays. I mean, people would say, "Oh, that was just a poor way to fight." It was, but that was, the Revolutionary War kind of, did that. So it was kind of poor tactics, but I mean, you got to think of the bravery you would have to, even walk towards a cannon, knowing what carnage, it can do. And you're expected to walk towards it and maybe even take that position while going through your enemy that is also firing back at you. A lot of people in America needs a history lesson. We've tried to erase history by taking down statues that offend very few people, flags that offend very few people, because we don't want to hurt their feelings. See, but what happens when you erase history like that, or you choose not to either teach it or remember it for the future, you're usually destined for that history to repeat. I'm not saying there's going to be another civil war over slavery, or, it could be over abortion. Just the reason why you're fighting may change, but the concept of friends against friends, family against families, that is still the same. It's not like when the United States Army or Navy or any branch in the military invades another country. You're not having Americans kill Americans. Well, you shouldn't be having Americans kill Americans. If you do, you have some army trouble. I mean, they are taking out, as bad as it is for the country they invaded, they are taking out, what? I don't want to say they conceive, what they are told who are the bad guys. But when you have something like this, and you just, even if you get the chance to go watch one of these in person, just the fact that, these guys stood there in lines, and just traded shots back and forth till either one group or other either ran out of ammunition or ran out of men. Then they would just bring the next group up. I mean, there was more casualties in the Civil War than World War I, World War II, and Korean and Vietnam combined. War is ugly. People that call for it is ugly. But yet, when we choose to go to a war, even if it's in another country, we all get upset over people dying. What do you think war is? War is, people dying. That's just part of war. We've got so accustomed to, I don't know if they think the United States is invincible, their, military or what. But if you go to fight somebody, you're going to have deaths on your side. That's just the outcome of war. Now, if you had that in the United States, I don't think you could conceive what that would cause with the technology of today compared to what they had back then. They were maybe pushing, if you're lucky, if you were good, maybe 3 rounds a minute, maybe. Right now, you could go through a good, maybe, 60 rounds in a minute, 90 rounds in a minute, just to conceive the difference in technology, and, the casualties would be so much more. But for all you people that, your answer to everything is war, or, we got to do this, we got to do that. As you watch this, a lot of these were young kids. Just like the World Wars 16, 17, they would lie about their age to go to war. These were young kids standing out there, facing each other, knowing that one of them rounds, one of them, cannon shells could have their name on it and take them out. What do you have now? You have kids. I just watched a protest this morning in, I think it was New York, for pro-abortion. Abortion is a right. Can you imagine sending them kids to war? What it would be like? They wouldn't stand a chance. Hell, half of them can't even, change a tire, let alone, learn how to put air in their tire. It would be the older generation that would have to pick up the slack for the younger generation. But then the younger generation would reap all the benefits of the victory of the older generation. It's just sickening what we choose to fight over day in and day out. The petty stuff. And then you see something like this and realize these guys weren't fighting for abortion, They were fighting for their country. And a good thing for us, the North did win. The South won. I don't know where we'd be today. It's, there's a lot of interesting books out there. If the South won, what would have happened to America as, we knew it back then? What would it be? But anyways, I'm going to play this. I hope you guys enjoy it. Most of it's here. Towards the end, there starts to be thunder and lightning, and it gets cut off. You know, they cut it short. It was almost over, so this video is about 30 minutes long. So there's most of it's here, but towards the end it started thunder and lightning, so they just cut it off. They called it quits because it was lightning. But just watch this and just think, these would have been all young kids. Young kids. How scared were they? But yet you say you don't want to go out and do something because you're scared of maybe somebody putting your name out there, or knowing that you stand up for this right or this cause. I think we all need to get some Civil War bravery back. I mean, these guys fought and died for something they believed in. And we are pestering each other over stupid things that's just going to tear this country apart. Alright, I hope you enjoy this. If you ever get a chance to see one in person, I highly recommend to do it because it will give you goosebumps. To feel, the shock waves and to see, what actually happens in person, even though it is a recreation. So you have to imagine, you put in your own gory stuff of what these people probably seen during, these battles. I mean, you can only imagine what was seen. Enjoy it. I'm just going to cut it off at the end. I ain't going to say nothing at the end because I've talked enough in the beginning. I'll cut the rest of the video up. He interviewed a great guy, knew a lot of stuff, knew his history well, had a lot of great stuff to say about, the history of the Civil War and the units and stuff like that. I'll cut that up and post that too, so you guys don't have to watch, a very long video. But watch this and remember, they were fighting for the North was a United States flag. That's what they fought under, That's what they carried on the battlefield. But yet, we can fly Ukraine flags, BLM flags, rainbow flags. But we can't have an American flag flying in front of our house. It's just disgusting. Alright, guys. Enjoy. They're going to come all the way down here. All right.
Cannons are over behind the trees over there. Confederate soldiers coming down the hill back there.
jättebra. Det kommer nog grejer. Jag går väl dit och kollar.
jets by now.
Something's going on. We're losing.
Thunder and the rain is coming. John, thank you so much for the Venmo. I appreciate the support big time. I noticed everybody was kind of starting to roll out of here. I wasn't sure what was going on, but the weather is coming. It's going to rain pretty serious. Battle is, it's kind of a soft battle. It's interesting, and we'll chat about it here in a minute, but it's interesting, right? Because I'm really curious how realistic or partially realistic. Hang on, I'm gonna grab a juice.